It's a battle that's been fought in the minds of creators, leaders, and students for centuries. The same urge that kept a famous painter from finishing his masterpiece or a world leader from addressing a pressing issue is the very same one that has you scrolling through your phone right now instead of tackling that one important task. We've all heard the famous quote about how you can't escape tomorrow's responsibilities by avoiding them today. We all nod in agreement. We know procrastination is harmful. But here's the strange part. No one actually enjoys being a procrastinator. The temporary relief is always, without fail, followed by that sinking feeling of panic, self-criticism, and stress. So if we all know it's bad and none of us like it, why is it so incredibly difficult to stop? The answer lies not in a lack of character, but in a fundamental misunderstanding of the enemy. For years, I was the king of procrastination. Every semester in college followed the same painful pattern. The early weeks were a blissful paradise of relaxation and socializing. I felt no pressure. I was the picture of cool. But then, like clockwork, about a week before exams, the facade would crumble. I'd find myself locked in my room, surrounded by energy drink cans in a full-blown panic, cramming a semester's worth of learning into a few sleepless nights. And science shows this is the universal procrastinator's experience. You trade short-term comfort for long-term suffering. It doesn't really matter if you're motivated by the thrill of a deadline or paralyzed by the fear of failure. The outcome is the same. But is it really just a harmless quirk? The research says no, it's far more serious. Academic studies have linked chronic procrastination to higher levels of stress, anxiety, irrational beliefs, and even depression. Researchers have gone so far as to compare the habit of procrastination to the cycles seen in substance abuse. It's a sign of poor self-regulation, a failure to manage our own impulses that has a real and damaging cost. After college, I thought I'd leave the habit behind, but it followed me. It had become an automated response. Every time I had a business idea or a project, the cycle would repeat. I'd start with excitement, but the moment I hit the first obstacle, a moment I now call the slope of procrastination, I give into a single tiny distraction, and that was always the beginning of the end. It never starts with a full-blown work avoidance spree. It starts with, I'll just check the news for a second. Then, I might as well watch one episode. Then it's a YouTube video. Then a scroll through social media. You fall down the slope, and you only stop when you hit the bottom, landing with a thud of self-disgust and the empty promise that this is the last time. So what's the solution? For years, I thought it was about cultivating more willpower. I'd grit my teeth, try harder, and promise myself I'd be better. And I'd fail every time. The breakthrough came when I realized I was fighting the wrong battle. Willpower is a finite resource. It's like a muscle that gets tired. Relying on it is a flawed strategy. What you need isn't more willpower. It's a system that makes willpower less necessary. A lot of people hear system or routine and think it means sacrificing freedom. But the truth is the opposite is real. That so-called freedom to follow every impulse is the very thing that leads you down the slope of procrastination. True freedom is the ability to do what matters most without being hijacked by your every whim, and that kind of freedom requires rules. Research points to several key pillars for an effective system. You need self-imposed deadlines to create urgency. You need an accountability system, a friend or a coach to create responsibility because we often care more about breaking promises to others than to ourselves. You need to work in focused intervals to maintain concentration. You need to exercise and eat well, not just for your body, but for the mental energy and clarity they provide. And you must ruthlessly eliminate the distractions that pull you off course. But there is one master ingredient that makes this entire system work: internal motivation. All the deadlines and accountability partners in the world are just external scaffolding. They will eventually crumble if there's nothing holding them up from the inside. You have to know your why. Why are you doing this task? How does it connect to a bigger picture? How does it serve a goal you genuinely care about? When you connect filing your taxes to the freedom of financial security, or connecting a boring work report to your larger career aspirations, the task transforms. It's no longer just a chore, it's a step on a meaningful path. The solution to procrastination isn't a magical burst of motivation. It's the deliberate act of building a structure for your life. It's taking a step back before you dive in to understand your deeper purpose. Then, it's relying on a science-backed system of deadlines, accountability, and a focused environment to support that purpose. Stop trying to be a mental superhero. Stop relying on willpower that always seems to run out. Start building a system that does the work for you. It's not rocket science. It's just science.